Welcome to the news at 10. We begin with Election Day exactly 7 weeks from today. Crunch time for candidates. Now, we reported last week about the shakeups at Paulette Jordan's headquarters. 3 people leaving the Democratic gubernatorial candidate's campaign on Friday, raising some eyebrows about the timing and the reason. Our Morgan Boydston spoke with Jordan's acting campaign manager, Idaho Dems, and a political science professor to shed some light on what's going on, and she joins us now with the story.
Mark, you may remember 2 staffers left Paulette Jordan's campaign just before the primary election in May as well. So there's been quite a bit of turnover over the last 4 months. But our acting campaign manager says this latest shakeup was planned.
We just need people who are up to the standards that we have in terms of Paulette's passion, in terms of what she cares about.
Jordan's campaign senior advisor, now acting campaign manager, saying the transition was a bit blown out of proportion.
And I think there was a disagreement in terms of how they wanted the message shared. They made it about them. Obviously, this isn't about them. This is about Paulette Jordan. This is about Idaho.
Nate Kelly says they plan to let go and phase out the 3 staffers over a couple weeks.
We needed something more.
As the campaign hired 8 new people.
We needed new leadership. That's just the reality. This is a growing campaign. We need to bring in new blood and people with a little bit more experience at the management level in growing a statewide campaign.
But didn't plan for the departing campaign manager, communications director, and scheduler to announce it before Jordan's campaign could.
We were hoping that they would stay and help us with the transition. We hadn't finalized the transition yet. And that's where we wish we had done that a little bit more smoothly.
The shakeup sparking some concerns over the inner workings of the Jordan campaign.
Obviously, the way it was released, it made it seem like we were losing people when actually we were gaining people.
I mean, there are, of course, people who are worried about the turnover, but I've also seen a lot of people, online, people calling into the office who are still very supportive of her.
The Idaho Democratic Party says turnover happens.
Especially with a campaign of her caliber, I do think that this sort of stuff is normal.
They say they're in constant communication with her team to make sure they have what they need to succeed.
We have to just take the hiccups as they come and just keep moving forward.
To set some context, we talked to a Boise State assistant political science professor.
This close to the election, is it normal to have turnover like this?
Not usually. Sometimes we'll see campaigns retool and change up some staff after like a primary election. So before moving to the general, they'll work on, maybe some new issues they want to focus on, new directions.
Bringing in all new staff, Kettler says, could be a setback.
So it takes time, right? You have to hire new staff, you have to get them on board, you have to catch them up and get them on, rolling. So you do lose some time.
That being the biggest bump in the road.
But it can potentially, for some voters, it may be a signal of turmoil or concerns about leadership for those who are paying attention. But there's always a question on how much of this is actually going to affect voter decisions.
The former staffers signed non-disclosure agreements, so they couldn't talk about anything related to the campaign. I did reach out, though. Kelly says everyone signs one when they're hired to protect strategy and private information, and so the campaign can control messaging. But Dr. Kettler says it seems unusual, and it'll be interesting to see if NDAs become a trend. By the way, Brad Little's campaign says they don't have NDAs.
A little over a month and a half to go, Morgan. Get ready. The ramp up is underway.
We're ready.
All right, we'll continue to follow it.